So in today's session, we are gonna discuss about the inner classes, and at the same time, parallelly, we are gonna learn, or we are gonna discuss the topic on exception handling. So when coming to this inner classes, so what is meant by inner classes? So what is meant by class? So class is a blueprint of an object, so which contains the variables and the methods, right? So what is meant by inner classes? So in the statement only, in the heading only, we have that inner classes. Class inside a class, or class inside one Java file. So we call them as an inner class. So why we are using n number of inner classes in one Java file? Instead of going to the previous class or the previous or extending the n number of tabs in your Visual Studio Code, opening n number of class files, instead of building all the functionality in one Java file and using the extends keyword, building a relationship between the inner classes, then it will be easy. So nothing but, I will tell you an example. So if any of your relative came to you, visited your home to invite for a function. So let us assume that your father and mother staying in Hyderabad and you are staying in Bengaluru and your brother staying in Delhi. So it will be slightly difficult for them to come to your home and invite. So what happens? Under one roof, you are staying in a joint family. So you are staying in a 3 BHK flat and you and your parents and your brother are in the same roof. It will be easy for you to contact each and it is easy for the relative to come and visit our home and see each and every face and invite them. So understood the example. Under one roof, under one Java file, creating n number of inner classes helps you to find out the functionality of the program, and it will make you easy to understand the things, how it was working. And yes, of course, most of the people will get confused by using the inner classes. So now I will explain you the logic on how we are taking down. It is very easy. Very easy. So in Java file, we can create n number of classes. In one Java file, so we can create n number of classes, Java classes. But you must have to create one public class. The class name, so whatever the file name that you have taken, text.java, that text must be the public class, and it was mandatory. And it was recommended to use that. And other must be any ordinary classes. Either as of course you might use default class, or you might use protected class, private class. It is up to your logic and your thinking ability and your functionality. Understood? So the public class must be the name of that particular class file, Java file. So what must be the class? So for example, so if I am taking down public class test, I have opened the curly brackets and I have closed the curly brackets. So most of the people will get confused while opening the curly brackets and closing the curly brackets of the class file. So whenever you are using the inner classes in Java file, so you must have to identify the curly brackets where you have opened for that particular class and where you have closed that particular bracket. You will get the errors in that. You will get n number of errors and you will get n number of confusion while handling these inner classes. You must have to, first thing, you must have to identify where you have opened the class and where you have closed the class with the help of curly brackets. So this test must be the class name. Test.java is my file name, Java file name. So in that I have taken down public class test. Yes, of course I can take down n number of classes. Class text1 open and close. So likewise I can take class text2. So it is up to me. So the name must be unique. The name of the class must be unique. Why? Because when you are creating the reference instance of a class, so it won't override. The functionality won't override on the topics that you are taking down in the similar name under one roof. So you have your own identity in your home. Your mother and father has their own identity in your house. Your brother has its own identity. So likewise, the names must be different. So let us assume that if you are twins, so if your names are both are Kartik, so if your father called Kartik, so then who will go? Father said that we are going to market, so Karthik, please come and sit on the bag. So who will go? We are two people with the same name, so we will get confused. Segregation of the classes. We have discussed it before in the packages concept. So the same concept will be applicable here in the inner classes. Inner classes. So how many class files that you are taking down in the Java program? The Java program. At that time, that three different class files are being generated. What is meant by class file? As we discussed before, so when you are using the notepad, using the compiler and compiling the Java code, a class file has been generated in your local on the same path that you have taken down. So when you have taken three inner classes, at that time, three class files will be generated in your local when you are using with the notepad. But nowadays, yes, of course, we are using the IDEs and no need to compile those things. But for your understanding, so I just want to take down. So how many class files that you have taken down? So that class, so in the back end, when you have compiled the code, that many class files will be generated. How many classes that you have taken in the Java file? That much quantity of class files that will generate. If you have taken 10 classes in one Java file, so 10 class files will be generated in your local. So preventing those all compilation things, yes, of course, we are using IDEs. So that will be easier for us without doing the compilation. Yes, of course, we can get the output, required output. So whatever the output that you are expecting, yes, of course, that output will be rendered on your page without compiling and generating the class files. Why? Because this IDE plays a crucial role when compiling the things automatically and give you the output that you are expecting from them. Okay, so we can have main method in every class but while executing we can only select one class to give the output. So we can mention in each and every class we can take down the main method, but the execution of the flow is being executed from the main class file. So what was the name of the class file or Java file? Is test. So the main method inside this class only being executed, will only being executed. Please remember that. You must have to remember that. And then, so if you are taking down inner classes in one class file, so these are the classes in Java file test.java. So now I had a requirement. So now clearly observe that I am taking down on public class test3. Have you noticed something different, unique? So nothing but till now in a class in a Java file I have taken down the n number of classes, but now inside the Java file, inside one class file, I have created another class file saying that, so here my test class bracket has been started and here it was been ended, right? So inside the class we need to take down the variables and methods, but I have taken down an extra class inside a class file. In that scenarios, so when you do the compilation to generate the class files in your local, you can identify that that class files will be generated with the name of, so I will take down test class, and yes, of course, you can find the dollar symbol and test3. So this is how the class file is being generated. So till now it will generate text1, text2, so like that, right? So but here this dollar symbol indicates that you are writing down a class inside a class, not a class inside a Java file, a class inside a class. So yes, of course, you will not get that opportunity to take down the things like that. So most of the times you will use the IDEs for the output. I'm not sure that you will get this output in your local. So if you are using the notepad, if you are using any of the notepad to take down these inner classes, at that time you must and should do the compilation. So at that time you will get these things, and at that time you must not be confused saying that I am not sure about what this dollar symbol. I'm not sure what about the classes there on thing. Yes, of course, you must have been aware of these things. And yes, of course, we can use the same access modifiers. Yes, of course, we can create public, private, protected classes for the inner classes, as well. So how many the things that you have access modifiers? Yes, of course, you can go with that flow. And we can also establish the static abstract class as well. What is meant by static and abstract classes as well? So as we have discussed in the interfaces concept, or else as we have discussed in the what is that abstraction principle, so I have taken down the interfaces. At that time I have explained about abstract methods and abstract classes. So what is an abstract class? It can contain all the abstract methods, so no need of the implementation. Yes, of course you can go ahead, I won't throw any error. So that is the scenario. And one thing I just want to inform you that we cannot write the main method inside this class. You cannot write the main method inside that class. That is the rule. Why? Because the main method is only called in the top level. So what is the top level here? Test. Test is my top level. I'm not taking down the things in the from the below, from the bottom. I'm taking down it easy from the top level. And if you are creating any instance of a constructor in an inner class, then we need to create one object instance in the outer class as well. So if you want to create an instance of this thing, test3, inside this text1, so at that time you must have to create an instance of test. So why I'm taking down like that? So at that time, at one particular time, the test3 is a class inside test class. At that scenario, we need to create an instance of constructor in inner class. So then we need to create an object instance in the outer class as well. So yes, I know it will be a bit confusing. So in the most of the times in the real-time scenario, so we are not taking down a class inside a class file. So we are taking a number of classes in the Java file. Rare scenarios, you will take down the things like this. The rare scenarios. Okay. So this is concept of entire inner classes. So the only mistakes that you guys are doing that. So whenever you are opening the class bracket, you are closing in the wrong direction. You are closing in different direction. As I have seen, n number of people are submitting the assignments on the inner classes. N number of people are facing the issues while you are opening the curly brackets and closing the curly brackets of the class. You must be active when you are open and you are closing the classes. So that is the main issue that you are facing when you are taking down the inner classes in your previous assignments. Please keep a note of it. So if you want me to show the things, yes, of course I will show the things once the session is in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now let us discuss about exception handling. So yes, of course, first off I will take down the things in the theoretical way, and then I will show you the things in the Visual Studio Code regarding the exception handling. So when coming to this exception, so what is the word mean by exception? What is the word mean by exception? So exception is nothing but was an error. What kind of error? So let us keep this Java inside. So now let us take down one real-time example. So let me take an example. 1 second. Okay. So according to me, so it might be a bit. So I will take the real-time example for you all. So let us assume that me and my family are going to visit a temple in Tirupati. So my hometown was Kakinada. So 1 second, I will take down So I'm not sure about the districts and all, so please involve. So that is enough, I think so, for my example. So let us assume that. So I'm taking a real-time example for your understanding. First, you need to understand the concept of how it was working. So after that, I will tell you the theoretical sentences for that exception. So let us assume that me and my family members are trying to go to Tirupati from Kakinada. So we are starting there in the car. In my own car, we are starting there in Kakinada and we need to approach Tirupati. So today night we are starting in Kakinada and tomorrow morning we need to be there in Tirupati. Why? Because our tickets have been booked in the morning section. So we need to arrive. So I have taken the car. So I didn't check about what the condition of my car types. So I simply have taken my family in the car and I am bored. I crossed Kakinada border and I crossed Rajahmundry border and I crossed Tanukku, and then before approaching Vijayawada, my car tire was punctured there. So can I move forward? Can I go forward? Assume that there is no Stephanie and all, so don't give the silly reasons for that. So assume that I'm nothing, so I'm helpless there. So I'm on the highway, so my car tire was punctured. So currently where I am now in Tanukku, between Tanukku and Vijayawada. Understand the things? So now let us take down this as a program. Let us take down Kakinada in a scissor statement, Rajahmundry in a scissor statement, Tanukku in a scissor statement, all districts in a scissor statements. When the exception has been taken place, the program will be executed until and unless the exception has been caused. Understanding this means, yes, you will be in the traveling mode until and unless you will get the exception in your car or something like that. Or there we will break. Until then, yes, of course, your flow is being worked out. But after that, your flow has been stopped due to some reason. What is the reason behind that? My car has been punctured. So now I am in Vijayawada. I am in the middle of the execution. What is my execution? I need to travel to Tirupati. So that is my execution. My execution is being stopped there with some exception. So to get rid of it, to get out of that, we are using the exception handling. So when you think that your program might contain the exception, so which scenarios you will think like that? So when I am starting in my hometown, in my Kakinada, in my hometown, so I have checked that my back tire was 50% done. So I have checked it before. I checked it before that. So if I go with this tire, I'm not sure. So in the middle, yes, of course, it might get punctured. At that time, what I will do? I will maintain a spare tire in the back, right? I am checking this thing. I am trying to handle the situation. So at that point of time, even though my car tire has been punctured on the highway, I simply ask my parents or my family to wait for 15 minutes outside, and then I will quickly change the tire and I will continue with the flow. And also, when coming to this Java point of view, when coming to this exception handling, there might be an error while you are taking down 100 lines of code in your sheet or in your project. At that time, you will check for the exception and you will cleverly handle that situation with the help of exception handling. This exception handling will check for the error and it won't disturb the flow, but it will waste the time of your skill. So the execution flow of the program will be in the milliseconds, 0.396 milliseconds. So that will be a random execution flow of the program. That will be increased to 50 more milliseconds, 0.050 milliseconds. That's it. Not 1 minute or 2 minutes of execution of the program. So if there is any exception, it will waste your time. So nothing but if I am traveling, so due to that puncture, so if I am able to handle the situation, so 15 minutes of my time was wasted, right? 15 minutes of my time was wasted in 9 hours of journey. So likewise in the Java program also, if you think that if you have an exception, so 0.050 milliseconds has been wasted. I'm not sure about the timing. So it will increase the time. The regular flow and the regular execution will increase the time in the backend. Right? The time you are getting the output, it might be increased. It might take a few seconds to get the output. But at the end of the day, it will skip the exception, it will skip the error, and you will give the output of the next thing. It will skip the error and it will give the output of the next thing. Understood? So now let us go to the technical thing. So when coming to this exception handling, it was an error handling. Exception is nothing but an error that was caused by anything, by any logic that you are taken down in your Java program at that particular time. So we are handling this exception with n number of possible ways. So now I will take down the things. So when coming to this exception handling, so we will create some of the exceptions by known, by unknown, I'm not sure. So yes, of course, by knowingly, if you are creating the exceptions, we will check those things and let the things happen according to your output. But when there is an unchecked exception, yes, of course, in the main method only we will derive that there might be an exception. Please take care. Please take care. So in this exception also, so we are having different exceptions. So runtime exception handling and compile time exception handling. What is the difference between the runtime and the compile time thing? So yes, of course, we have different approaches, different methods to take down these things. So we can directly use the try catch block at the runtime. What is meant by try? So here, so I know that in the starting stage only, I know that my tire was 50% done. But I am using the try condition. Try this tire, no worries. So if it is going on, go with the flow. Or else, catch. Try catch the punctured tire and remove the tire and fix the things and go with the flow. I am trying the tire. Am I? So in my hometown only, I am starting from my home. I am trying the tire, which is 50% done. So I am checking on the thing, checking on the condition. If it is good to reach me to the destination, then I will go with the flow only. I don't need to waste the 50 minutes of time. I don't need to change the tire to the new tire. So here in the Java point of view also, we had try catch block. Try, where you will try the error. Where you will think that I will get the error in this line. At that time, yes, of course, you are using the try block. And what is the help of this catch block? In this catch block, you are catching what is the exception that you are getting on this program. And you are storing that exception in a variable. And yes, of course, you will print that variable with the using the method saying that print stack trace. And I just want to inform you that what is a stack trace? It was stack trace. So what is meant by stack trace? So when coming to the stack trace, so whenever you are getting an exception in your thread or else in your main method or else in your execution of the program, so you will get 4 to 5 lines saying that exception in your program, exception in the line 16 in your program, and it is an arithmetic exception. I will show you the things. So for this exception handling, so I am taking down the program. 1 second. Okay, so let me take what's the scan this Java. Okay, so let me take this program. So forgot about these all things. I am deleting these all things as well. Yeah, so this is my class scan. This is my class scan. So let me take down one main method saying that public main. So I am taking down one main method. Done. So in this main method I am giving int I is equal to 10. I hope you are aware of what is int I is equal to 10. So now I am giving int j is equal to 0. Yeah, it might be 0 at sometimes. Now I am saying int result is equal to I by j. So I am giving int result is equal to I by j. So then, so in the sysout statement, I'm saying that, so print result, yeah, control s. So I didn't check any condition, I didn't check any logic, and I simply given the thing, and I'm not sure what the output will be. So I'm expecting the output saying that anything by 0, I think it was 0, right? Anything divided by 0, 0. I'm not sure about the mathematics. Okay, leave that. It was not in a concept here. So yes, let me run the program. I know that the program has an error, but I am just trying to show you the stack trace. Exception in the thread main. You can find out here. So these two lines are the stack trace in the exception handling, saying that it will inform, it will give you the message. You must have to identify that message. So what is the message? Exception in the thread main, java dot lang dot arithmetic exception. It was saying that you will get the arithmetic exception, and what is the reason? So you can find the arithmetic exception here. So like the way, so developers will find what exception it was getting. Okay, so then the reason divided by 0, divided by 0. So it was simply giving you the mistake what we have done in that thing, At that time, in the second line, you can find July dot scan dot main. So what is this JUL and scan dot main? JUL is my package, July is my package, scan is my class, dot main in the main method. Inside the main method, so what was the line? The line was 8. So how I have noticed that? So here I can find that, so the line was 8. So in this is known as the stack trace. In this error, so we are not calling it as an error, we will call it as a stack trace. Stack trace. So now what I will do? So now I will try to use the try catch block. So I'm trying try catch. Okay, in this try, yes, of course I'm trying this thing, and then exception here, and I'm taking down e dot print stack trace, and not sure about this. Yeah. So for your understanding, just I'm taking down the things. So here what I am done is, so I am using the try catch block. So what I am trying here, so I am trying the 8th line saying int result is equal to I by j. So here I will get the arithmetic exception. So that's the reason, as they informed me, so as the Java has informed me that your 8th line has the arithmetic exception. So at that particular time I am using the try catch block. I am trying that one. If it is work out, yes, of course I am good. Or else please try to catch the exception. And try to store it in a variable. So this is like int I is a variable. So here e is a variable. E dot print stack trace is a method used to print the stack trace. So now let me try. So if you can see here, program has started. So nothing but I was started there in Kakinada. Program has been started and I have reached my destination, Tirupati. Program has been completed. So what was the thing in the middle? Exception. So how you are getting these lines in the program? With the help of catch the exception, e dot print stack trace. E dot print stack trace. Stack trace. Yes, of course you need to identify this one. You need to identify this one. And also we have finally block. So in the most of the scenarios you won't find the finally block. So I will explain the finally block as well. So this is the flow of the program that I want to show you the things. So now stack trace was being completed and then try, catch and finally. So these are the blocks. So these are the blocks and why we are using this block. So try, I already informed you that. So catching the exception that we are getting. What is finally? So whatever the things my mother told me that. So whatever the way that you want to go. So whatever the vehicle you choose. But at the end of the day, finally I must be in Tirupati at tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Finally. Understood the thing? So my parents saying that. So if you want to take me on the car, just take me on the car. If you want to book the train ticket, just have to book the train ticket. I am not bothered about the work of the flow of the program. So I am only bothered about the output. So my output must be finally this thing. Finally I must be in Tirupati. That is my final destination. So at that scenario, in this program only, you can take down under the try catch block, you can use finally block. Finally block. In this finally block, yes, of course, you can take down the sysout statement. Sysout statement in the finally block. In the finally block. And again, we have two different type of keywords in the exception handling. So what are the two different keywords that we are gonna use? So we are gonna use the throw keyword. Throws keyword. So I will tell you the difference between what is throw and throws. Throw is the runtime exception handling. So nothing but in the method overriding concept. So when you have simply used add unimplemented methods, you got one message without the sysout statement. It was saying that throw keyword in the sysout statement. Have you noticed that? When you have used the oops concept and we have used add all unimplemented methods in this class, at that time by default it was using the throw keyword. If you are not aware of those things, so please go and try that oops concept and you will find the throw keyword there. So throw keyword is a runtime thing of an exception handling which we use to throw the exception if it is required. Throws is a keyword which we use at the top level in the method thing. In the method level only you can find throws keyword. Throws arithmetic exception. The compile time exception handling and runtime exception handling. In the compile time exception handling, in the starting stage only, what I am doing is in my home only. So I have noticed that it was 50% damage. At that time, I am removing the tire and I am adding a new tire. While I am starting before, I have check exception. This is a compile time exception. There are different names. Check exception is nothing but compile time exception where you have using this throws keyword in the main method as well. Throws, with the help of throws, we are including exception name as well. Understood? So this throws keyword I simply use in the main method saying that public static void main So now I am audible. Online folks, Ajay, are you here? Am I
Yeah, I
audible?
can hear you.
So I just lost the connection. So now I think it was good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So my screen is visible. Are you able to view my screen? Okay, good.
Yes.
So thank you. Yeah. So here, so I'm testing the difference between the throw and the throws. So in the most of the scenario, you are not using the throw keyword. In the most of the scenario, you are not using the throw keyword. Just you are going with the flow and saying that the checked exception using the throws keyword in the top level. In the top level. And as also, yes, of course, you can use n number of exceptions, and basically I recommend you to use only the arithmetic exception until and unless you will understand the flow of the exception handling. Flow of the exception handling, how I used. So if you are working on the files, if you are working on files, if you are creating n number of files using Java program, text file, docs, PDF, yes, of course, at that time you will get input and output exception, that is IO exception. So likewise, we have servlets exception, we have uh, out of box exceptions. So there are n number of out of box exceptions. So based on your logic and based on your functionality, so you will get to know what kind of exception that you are getting there with the help of stack trace. With the help of stack trace, and also when you are using the arrays. So if that array, so if you are checking the element with the out of box index, nothing but if you have in an array, so let us assume that if you have 3 by 3 matrix, at that time you are asking the question, or if you are expecting the input of 3 by 4 matrix. Have you understood my question? Or else let us take down a single dimensional array. So in that single dimensional array, so I have given 5 elements, so which represents 4 indexes, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for 5 elements. So if I ask saying that sysout, give me the element in the 5th index. So where is the 5th index? No, right? There is no 5th index. Why? Because I have given 5 elements, they are stored up to 4 only. So at that time you will get array index out of bound exception. Array index out of bound exception. So yes, of course, based on the things, yes, of course, you will get n number of ways. And also, yes, of course, you can use the throw keyword here. The syntax will be throw and new and the exception name. And yes, of course, here it will be the string value. String value. This is used inside the method as it was a runtime exception handling, unchecked exception. Remember that there will be two types of exceptions: checked exceptions and unchecked exception. Checked exception, compiled an exception. Another name for checked exception, compiled an exception. Unchecked exception, it is a runtime exception. We will use throw keyword over here. Try catch block will also come as under the unchecked exception. Runtime exception handling, the try catch block. So remember that. Okay. Thank you.